one thing that's disappointing is that like I wish they spent more time with Miguel's dad and his dad realizing that holy cow, this is wait, you're Carmen's kid, you know, like, and Miguel, we should have seen like Miguel saying, yeah, I'm your father, but instead like we know that he was a wanted criminal from Ecuador. Like they didn't touch that much. It was like Miguel realizing like you're a terrible person. See ya, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I think that was a good choice on their part, because then it would have probably led to some more like open ends, right? Like they can't just leave that storyline alone if he knows that he has a son out there. They kind of have to like, it might extend past the scope of what the show is trying to be, and they might run the risk of like jumping the shark if all of a sudden they're involved with like the Mexican cartel. You know what I mean? Like, this is Cobra Kai. This is the Karate Kid.
Exactly, but that's where they can go with it. They
could go there.
It's not Breaking Bad, you know?
Anything is possible. I think anything is possible because they're starting to bring together a lot of cultures,
maybe,
you know?
But I understand the writers being like, hey, maybe let's just focus on our story.
Yeah. That you guys bring up a good point, because that's how I felt about this season. Because I had mixed feelings about this season, to be honest. I felt like the first 5 episodes were kind of
was slow, right?
Yeah, meh to me. I didn't really like, for starters, I felt like it was a disappointment that we didn't really get to play with Miguel's father, especially that they made it a whole big deal. I didn't like that I didn't like the whole Johnny plotline where he has a son or a child, and it's just like, oh, what are we gonna do with your child? I'm just thinking to myself, can't you just abort the child? Like, why are we making it such a big deal to have a child when you could just do that?
Well, I mean, the whole child is always a big deal.
It is, but it's like the way they're treating it. It's like,
did you ever forget about the abortion laws that are going on right now? Like,
dude, California is still legal for that stuff. So my point is,
but they're real. I mean, like realistically, people struggle with those.
Yeah, I get it, but the fact that there wasn't even an alternative to it, it just seemed like a weird. Oh, I have to have the baby. I'm like, can you? I don't know.
Okay, but also hold on. There's families that are watching this show as well. You know, I don't think that it would be appropriate. You know.
Yeah, but it's
and there are people who are religious.
But also, I think the whole having that child is definitely like, I feel like Johnny's been reborn again, and that's allowing him to become who he needs to be and,
like
and what's going
chance,
on.
Right?
Because now he's actually starting to be a father. So like
this is his way of getting a second chance. Because he missed out on Robbie's life.
Yeah, I get that. I just think that it would have been interesting if they play that option, and then maybe later on he goes, you know what, never mind. Like, I feel like that's something for it. The way they framed it, it was like, or I had the kid, or
I think it would have been different if this was season 1, Johnny.
That's true. I get it.
This is season 5, and we've seen Johnny progress in his character to this point already. I don't think it would have made sense for him to be like, hey, this woman who he clearly is in love with, who he loves her child, telling that woman, hey, maybe you should get an abortion. It's a bit much.
I don't know. It just seems like I just felt like the way they boxed it, that could have been at least been like an option that you could have potentially talked about. But another thing I didn't really like was the Sam breaking up with Miguel, just because I felt like it was so pointless. Yeah, because I get the whole idea was like her trying to find herself, which I was okay with. But my issue was that she still hanged out with the same crew. Right. She's still doing the same stuff. So what was the whole? It just seemed like it was just random drama. And then my biggest gripe that I had for at least first 5 episodes was just how dumb LaRusso was, where he was like, oh, I'm gonna go attack, what's his name, the karate
Silver.
No, the
Stingray.
The guy, what's it called, the karate bad boy or whatever.
Barnes.
Where it's just like, how do you not know that Barnes works at, like, he's like,
yeah, that was a whole that part
like,
was,
to me it was just
foolish.
So weird. Like it just felt like they were making characters act stupid just for the sake of conflict. So I hated that. But literally after the minute where they're like, okay, we're all trying to get Silver, it was like a whole different story. Like, I really love the episode where we get to see Kreese's in jail, and he gets to face all his demons, and we have that Johnny, like someone dressed up as like little Johnny or something. Oh, like that.
I think they did. I don't know what they did.
They did a good job with that
they
one.
Did like
that was him in the '84, like
face
younger
swap. Yeah. The way that Marvel does with some of their movies,
or even with Star Wars, with
they de-aged them.
The de-age thing.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I did like that the whole arc with Kreese, like we get to know him better, like why he did the things he did and why he's the way he was, and how he lost Johnny as a son and he regrets it.
Yeah, I really like that.
That set the bar for that one. For
I really
preseason
like that.
development.
I even like that one moment where we see Tori hitting
the cement thing.
thing,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
she breaks her arm, and it's
And
kind of
it calls back to the Karate Kid 3 where
And how someone just stands there and does nothing.
where where LaRusso has to do the thing with the wooden
Yeah,
board.
exactly.
Yeah.
I like that, just the like even the metaphor and the meaning behind that. And then the finale, I thought it was the most craziest finale. Like at some point, I mean, OC will recognize this. It felt like Young Justice, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna secretly go into this
Yeah,
thing, and then they
yeah,
have to fight the group of people. And it was just, I loved that at all. So again, polarizing to me. This season's been polarizing for me because the first 5 episodes I don't really give a crap about, but the last 5 episodes were really crazy, and I really enjoyed it.
I feel like one of my gripes, in addition to some of the stuff that you mentioned, I think the character of Chosen was a little too hammed up. I think they played into the foreigner in America doesn't really
Yeah.
understand things that
Yeah.
they played into that way too much.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where it was like he's walking into a nightclub with size. Like, come on. Come on. Like that's not realistic for a character to be doing in any situation. So that kind of took me out of it. I wish they kind of made him a little bit more of a realistic character. But I get it. The conclusion of this and also Tyron Woodley being one of the senseis for that Silver brought over from Korea. It was really interesting. It was just like randomly one of the UFC championship is one of the senseis in Cobra Kai. It was pretty funny for me.
Oh yeah. Can I add on to something?
Yeah, what was you going to say?
I don't know if you guys had feelings that I did, but if we can talk about like Mike Barnes, and like I thought he was gonna be like something important, but apparently he really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys thought of this, but I thought he was gonna be Tori's father or some way.
No.
You guys think of that? I thought he was Tori's father.
No. I think they did it well. I think that this was an introduction. I think that this was like, hey, we're just so you know, now we've got another guy from the 80s and 90s that is in this movie. So it's like, hey, we're just letting you know that he's there, and it was a cool introduction. It's like, more karate people.
Exactly, and then it was surprising
the
that they brought
past.
that one girl too, because she was also in karate.
Just saying.